Brainstorming and sharing ideas is the funnest part of the creative process. We decided to skip the boring part of actually making stuff and just do the fun part. I'm your host, Tom Walma.
I'm Matt Ryan.
Mike Jeter.
Lisa Green.
Shelly Smith.
And this is Creativity Wasted.
I have a few, so I wonder which one I should do. And you guys can tell me. One is a podcast called 6 Degrees. One is an idea called Chakra Goddess. It's an alternate personality. And then
Chakra?
another one,
Like
Chakra
yoga?
Goddess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said shocker, like, you know.
Yeah.
Chakra.
Like, oh, where's this going?
Go on.
Mike, we're talking about our chakras. There's 7 of them. Look it up. You do your thing later. And then the other one is sort of a new kind of improv show form.
My vote would be Chakra Goddess.
Yeah, the chakra thing.
Oh, okay.
You might have to explain a little what chakra is. I know it's like a yoga, spiritual, new age thing, but I don't know exactly.
No, well, it's just if you Google chakra, you'll see there's 7 of them. You know, there's your crown chakra and your root chakra and your heart chakra. And yes, so when you do a chakra meditation, there's like red is your root chakra and it's the earth and it's your sexuality and it's grounding and it's this kind of thing. And your third eye, you know, it's telling you what each part is. And when I was doing one of those a few days ago, I had this whole idea of building a costume or a set of costumes that matched the chakras, right? That were real costumey, right? Real over-the-top costumey, chakra goddess costume. And when I got out of that, I kind of drew it all out, like what it would look like. And then I'm like, no, there's so many ways you could do it. I want to, make a bunch of different outfits that represent the different chakras and figure out reasons to wear them. And I thought a fun reason to wear them was if I came up with an alternate comedy personality called Chakra Goddess. And I would do my set or whatever, leave. And then later on, somebody introduces a new comic named Chakra Goddess. I come back on in the costume. And then all of my bits are just super esoteric and about the moon. And it would just be a whole alternate personality, comedy personality, that I do a completely different comedy style under that. And when I do that style, I dress like the Chakra Goddess.
I'm just here for the idea of you get a heckler and then you just, respond to that person by being like, clearly your throat chakra is blocked.
Yeah. I might walk through saging the room. I could do that, possibly. I could bless people. That could come into play. But I could also, I want a reason to write really deep things, but treat them in a very silly way, because I understand that sometimes when I am in those situations and we are kind of in a sound bowl room with essential oils wafting over us and we're going way into all the meditation, that it can seem silly, and I'm aware of that, but I still love it and I still want to talk about it, and I just love the idea of, I was at a friend of mine's estate sale. Her mom was an artist for the last, she died in her late 70s, I think, but for most of her life, she was every kind of artist. So she had, just so much botanically dyed paper and little tiny latches and ancient keys and pieces of fabric pasted on things. And it was just amazing. She had all these things. So she had all these pieces of just leather with snaps on them, just rough pieces of fabric, and I started making a costume out of it and was like, oh, this could maybe be badass, so maybe it could be silly, but maybe it could also be actually badass. Thoughts? What say ye, crowd?
I do. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
You said leather, so I'm trying to picture. Is it I'm picturing a superhero thing or Power Rangers, or is it
I'm open to that idea.
Yoga attire.
I think for example, your throat chakra, there's something about your throat chakra where if you know someone who gets a lot of sore throats or sore neck or that they always have a throat issue. They also might have an issue with expressing themselves or having like a mind-body disconnect. That's another common thing for people with their throat chakra. And I have these big, like, they almost look like clown collars. They're these big paper kind of fan things. And I was thinking about putting two of them together, right, like this, like almost like a big clown collar, but with megaphones in between them, right? Because like this is your area of expression, right? And so it would be like it would be a real highly stylized situation. But also, my friend had an idea that maybe I either add pieces on or remove them while performing.
Now, would this be like a one woman show, or would this just be an act or a character that you would play?
I think it could be either. Because the first thing I thought about was how cool, because there's all these pictures. If you Google, the chakras, immediately
Right.
a body will come up and you'll see all these colors and all the things that it's about. And so when I was meditating on it, I was just thinking of doing like exactly like that. Like maybe the skirt is brown and it has like braided leather, looks like roots, and maybe my top of my legs look like roots or painted like that or something. And then maybe maybe this is like the megaphones and maybe this is an actual eye on your third eye. And, so I think it could be anything. I think it could be just a way to do a different type of stand-up as an experiment and a reason to wear a fun costume, which I think is a completely valid reason. Just I want a reason to wear the costume, so I'd have to go develop an act for it. But I think a show where I'm sort of not a false prophet, but I feel like right now we're in an era of so many Instagram gurus and things like that I want to mock it a little bit. You know what I mean? I have guru type people that I hang out with too, but there's so many people. They're just immediately are ready to guide you to your highest, best self, And I just want to do that, but just a little off, just a little mocking, but with actual points where people are like, does she mean it or not? I think that would be
and that's why I
fun.
was interested in, because as a person that, my daughter, she deals with crystals and burning sage and all that other stuff. And to me, it's like burning sage just makes my house stink. But she's into crystals and all of that. And I even do a joke about about women and crystals. So I kind of understand it, but I think that most dudes don't gravitate towards that.
Right.
So if it could be somewhat educational and funny,
it
and
would.
a little bit of mocky.
It would.
But I also think that wouldn't be like, okay, here's Shelly Smith who's going to do a 10-minute set on this. It would have to be a show.
Well, no, I think I would try it first. Like, I'm not afraid to try it first. It's just going up just for the first time in 5 or 10 minutes, just to see what it's like, But I feel like there's enough there just thinking about each chakra and the stories that could go with that, and the way you could teach it to a broader audience by making it funny, that kind of thing, and making fun of myself, and I'm wearing a cool costume and making people go, what is that? What is she talking about? Is that real or not? So I think it sounds fun. I have a cape. I've got a couple of capes, to be honest. I have quite a costume set going on over here, but I just need to put it together, give it a shot.
I really like that though, because I feel like there's an abundance of the let's make fun of the astrology girls type of jokes. Let's make fun of the crystal B words. I'll try not to swear. There's so many of the whole, oh, I'm not that. Let's point and laugh at that. But then to take that on as yourself and be like, I am the crystal bee. I am this, that is me.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yes. Well, so I wrote a little set of jokes that I haven't figured out where to put yet. And they all start with kind of a phrase like, when I'm doing the deep work, like I'll start a joke like that, but then veer into like talking about the Gilmore Girls or fried chicken or whatever. I'll be saying like when I'm facing my shadow self, but then I'll veer into like the Lions game or, so I like the idea because I hear a lot of people doing that, like when I'm being my highest self, I don't eat donuts. Like I've heard people say almost that. Right. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that, but more directly. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
I listen. I think there are 100 ways you can go with this to make this pretty damn funny, and and informational. Where you're not, it's not so much that you're mocking people. These are things that people say.
Plus, here's what I would do. I would do it in a way like sometimes I'll happen upon sports commentary or political commentary. And when I pop in, I realize like, oh, this is an entire language just being barked at me, and I don't know half of it.
Right.
Well, when he was traded and the receiver decided to da-da-da, I'm like, I'm already, what are they talking about? Who's the blue one? I don't know. I'm already way lost. But there's just all these people speaking a different language, and they really mean it. And then you change the channel, and there's politicians and they're going, well, the margins are slim, and the polls are blah, blah, blah. And it's a whole other language, right? But the language of the chakra, the world I live in, a lot of my friends are a massage therapist and dance teacher and psychedelic healer. And, I have all those people. That's like my main people. And so our conversations are pretty weird, but I don't think they're very mainstream in any way, right? But it's very normal to me. And I think it would be fun to just put that right out into just a regular comedy club and assume everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like just the way people do when they say, did you guys see that game last night? And I'm like, never. I'm never going to say, yeah, I'm going to tune out pretty much for the rest of the show. You guys know that one artist, like I don't know pop culture. Like there's so much of pop culture jokes that I don't get because I don't get video games. I don't get certain bands. There's too many bands to know. I don't get some show references. I'm older than a lot of comedy club material. So I want to get up and just do the exact, like, of course, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I assume you understand what I mean when I say my throat chakra's clogged or whatever, right?
Well, maybe that's the gist of it, is that the collusion of your world and explaining that to quote unquote the layman using their terms. So you're saying your throat chakra. Well, it sounds almost like when a pitcher gets the yips. Well, okay, you may not know what that is, but it's like they forget, or a player gets the yips. They forget how to bat. They forget how to throw and their pitches and everything else. Or Shaq shooting a free throw. He was terrible at it. So you see what I'm saying? You can use things and put in politics, so you can. It's always
it's so
a
much
changing thing and it's current.
Yeah, and there was that U of M football player. Remember that was known for meditating at the goal line a couple years ago. Do you remember that? And everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, how crazy that this athlete meditates the goal line!" It's like, why? It's the most normal, smartest thing in the entire world that somebody under a lot of pressure would want to meditate in the space where they're about to perform. But like everybody had such a strong reaction to it. And it's like, how strange. It's like, really? Is it? Is it really? But I think at least there's anchors in society. Right. So people have at least some touch point. But I actually do really like trying all of that first in a chakra costume. And I'm not going to come out and say, this is a chakra costume, right? I wouldn't explain myself. So that there could be an extreme version of it, and then there could be subtler versions of it. Like one of my friends said, maybe you just dye a fitted dress, right? Actually, you can buy fabric or, get a custom-made dress that is the chakras, and then wear a headdress, right? And just have the colors going up
I liked your idea when you first started talking about it, about going out on stage and doing part of your bit and then leaving and then introducing a new person.
Yes.
And that's the new Chakra. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be fun.
So I think it'd be great as like a TikTok thing for sure, like in character the whole time. I think it would be good as a show, like with all 7 chakras performing. I think that would be cool. But if you just the stand-up thing, I could see it going good. I could also see it being
quiet,
like really, really awkward and embarrassing.
Yes.
Like, it seems like you kind of want to embrace that, like people thinking you're crazy because they don't know what a weird root costume with things coming out of the neck are.
Right.
But if you're not willing to fully embrace people wondering what the hell is going on as you're walking down Ann Arbor to get into the club wearing weird root stuff, like as long as you're like aware that people are going to think that's crazy and they're not going to know what the hell is going on.
They'll get it in Ann Arbor. They'll 100%.
Well, also, no one would even turn their head in Ann Arbor or Ypsilanti. No one would be like, "What is she wearing?" They'd be like, "There's probably something going on over there."
No, they'll probably just yell at you, "Go blue!"
Everybody's dressed like a tree today. But one of you just said something. Oh, TikTok. Yeah, like I would have to learn how to do TikTok. But
I think that would work really well. Yeah, because like they do like a lot of TikTok videos are like they have the dual dialogue thing going on where they have like it's the same person but they're playing 2 different characters and just different sides of the screen. Like I think that would work like really well for that character.
Yeah. I
love how you said that. I have to learn TikTok.
I don't want to learn another piece of, I'm already just like, ugh, no.
People were sending me TikToks, and I did not want to download it because I didn't need another social media to waste all my time. And finally, TikTok stopped letting you just look at a link. It's like, you have to have TikTok. I was like, really?
Yeah.
So I have TikTok now, but I haven't made anything on it.
Well, and what's happening? It's going away, right? Is it going away or something?
Who knows?
Oh, there was just a giant lawsuit. China's in trouble.
No, we'll just all start speaking Chinese. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
But I mean, it like short form videos with a couple jokes in them. You post them to Instagram, TikTok, and everything. You probably get an app and post them all at the same exact moment. But like, I think that would work like short things in character.
Yeah.
Maybe you would Colbert report it and pretend to actually be a guru, or maybe it would just be.
Yeah.
Maybe you wouldn't do it that way. You would be the sort of poking fun at it, and it's clear that you're not actually a guru, or I don't know what the tone would be, but
yeah.
That's interesting what Tom just said as far as like the Colbert report. You kind of it immediately hit me like almost like a news format, and you're explaining something, and then you explain it in layman's terms. Oh, this is like, I don't know, Trump trying to figure out what ethnicity come out, something to that effect.
Lessons.
But I also think that
lessons about
you have 7 of them. I would just concentrate on one and perfect that. And because here's the thing, if you're going to do it that way, you're always going to have material. It's always going to be relevant and current, and you can just bring in material. You can actually switch it depending on what chakra you're referring to. So I would just concentrate on, okay, I have to perfect this character, and this character, and then put it all together. But I can see this as a one-woman act, a show. I would pay to see it. It sounds interesting.
Come over.
Sounds interesting.
You have to come over because I don't know how to do all that shit you were just talking about.
you have to go on the TikToks where the kids play, and then you'll understand. No, I'm just kidding.
Terrible.
No, it sounds. It's seriously.
Do you know what?
Like do you know
what? I had this is part of this idea, but it's kind of it got linked to this idea in my mind as you guys were talking, because there was a while ago that I wanted to start a different podcast with my friend, because she would always say, "Tell me a story," if we hadn't seen each other in a long time. And I would tell her a story, and then she would say, "Tell me a story about this." And it's just, we're grown people, but I've always told her stories. So I thought it would be fun. That was another alternate character thing, to just have her send me 10 or 11, bunch topics. And I just talk to her and release, like, give it to her to do with whatever she wants. And she doesn't tell me. She can make a little story about it. She can put it out, not under my name. I don't have anything to do with it. I don't promote it. She promotes it. I block myself from that part of it. And I just create, right? And release myself from what happens with that. So with this, it could be fun if someone wanted to have fun and they love, because some people love making costumes and they love using a camera, but they don't want to do the thing. They don't want to be the thing. So it would be fun for me if somebody put it together and I could just not even see it, or not even know what kind of is happening on TikTok and just be like, here, because I don't want to look at stuff, really. I just want to make stuff. I want to, But if somebody's like, yeah, it should be this long and you stand here and we'll put a light on you, fine. I'll sit here and write and dress up and dance like a monkey all day. I've got a great big green screen in my studio. I've got some puppets we could utilize. I mean, I could get a team together. Let's rock it. Let's do it.
No puppets.
No. Oh, no, you would love them. You would love them. I have so many different kinds. You would love them. They're fantastic.
Just the bottom line of the contract is just no puppets under any circumstance.
I don't have anything to do with any toilets, and I don't act with puppets. That's on my rider.
I have to disagree with Mike a little bit. I would like to see all 7 costumes, and I think the Chakra goddess who dresses up in different costumes is a good, memorable thing. I don't think you have to stick with one, but I mean that's just a personal preference. But I'm afraid that I think it'd work better as a TikTok or a show in and of itself. I'm afraid that if you do it at a comedy show, I'm picturing the music video Blind Melon, No Rain, where there's a little girl crying in the flower costume. I'm picturing Shelley Smith,
I'm okay,
a grown woman, like crying in a flower costume because people at the comedy club didn't get the Chakra stuff. And this is embarrassing. And I just worry that it's going to go very, very bad.
I think we're worried. I think we're way, way beyond worrying what people are going to think in comedy clubs about anything. I mean, about anything. And also, I've been in children's shows. Like, I've worn silly costumes and I love it. I don't mind. I did this Go comedy show where I was a starving ballerina and I had people dancing around me that were dressed like big pieces of pizza and big pieces of cheese and stuff. And I leapt onto them and started eating them, right? Could have not been funny. It could have not been funny. But it was. And that is the risk we take every time we get on the stage, I think.
Yeah.
Because of course, everybody, I mean, people can be in no costume at all talking about nothing controversial and still piss me off and make me not laugh. So why not wear a cool costume and do it instead? That's what I say.
And as artists, aren't we all in costume?
Sure.
Did Shakespeare say something about that? We're all in costume.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, if you're going to perform in front of people, the last thing you should be worried about is how they're going to react to it. If you're confident in your art and how you're producing it and how you're putting it out, displaying it, and all, that's the concern. Am I displaying it how I truly want to display it?
Right.
And whatever people are going to come onto it or glom onto it, they're going to glom onto it regardless. If they're not, they're not. That's just my thing. I don't care.
You can't control if people get anything. That's the thing, is you can't control if people get anything. Like, I'll tell you something. I want to see every little video there is in the world of like a toddler holding a great big chicken. Okay. And if you'd have told me like, hey, look, here's a video of a toddler holding a chicken, you're really going to like it, I'd be like, no way. But when I happened upon it, I was like, oh, this is great.
A live chicken?
I was going to say like a roasted?
No, not like a cooked chicken. Like a little kid holding a great big live chicken. I want to see every photo of that. I want to see every video of that. Just a kid running up or being on a farm and lifting up a great big chicken is the greatest thing in the world. But before I saw it, I never would have been like, you know what I'm going to search for is a toddler holding a chicken. But I'll tell you right now, you look it up, you're going to have a fun day because it is the cutest thing in the entire world. And who knew, but also there's certain pop culture things that are really big that I don't care about at all. And I can't laugh at it and I don't understand it. And so who cares?
No,
so
I understand.
if it's 5 minutes of silence, have we not all experienced 5 minutes of silence at some point in our life during a show? I mean, who cares? Like I've had equipment fall, I've started, I think it'd be fine. Even if it was 10. Have you seen Sandra Bernhardt, I'm Still Here, Damn It, that special?
No, I haven't.
I've seen some of her. I don't remember what special it was.
Oh, you should watch it because she's just standing there talking in this really gorgeous, long, beautiful dress, and she's super pregnant. And so everything about it, you're going like, wait, is this giant pregnant? And there's really no crowd. It's just her standing on a stage, really beautifully lit. And she's not trying to be funny. She's just talking, and it's the greatest thing ever. But if you can find it, I wonder if it's easy to find. I can't remember when it came out, but it was in 1998. And I feel like it was one of those, when I saw it, it just changed the way I thought about performing forever. Because she just stands there and does exactly what she wants to, looking exactly how she wants to, real pregnant, and is super weird. And I've watched it so many times and I still think it's perfection. So could have been awkward, but it wasn't. It was a masterpiece. So
yeah, I missed it. I was worried about the Y2K bug.
We're all
gonna die.
Couple years
no time for laughter.
I watched it way after. Like I came to it way after, like at least 12 to 15 years after she did it was when I came across it. But that's my opinion. Anyway, that's me.
Anything more with Chakra Goddess? I just want to point. I wasn't trying to be mean by saying that it might not work, but I just felt like
you care about me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, yeah, because it might not work. The other comedians might be giving you the side eye, like you're crazy. Especially
I think some of them already do that.
Comics.
Yeah. Like, that's great. I don't care about that either.
Prepared that might happen. Yeah.
Okay. If you do have a puppet, make sure it looks like you, and I'll voice it.
No.
I suck at Mike. Puppets is probably a bad
idea.
My
god! Oh my gosh!
I have bad mouth puppet comments.
What are you doing up there?
I would die. Oh my god!
Whatever.
Yeah. Let me know. I think you would change your mind if you saw him, if you met him.
Is Karam Sheik still doing the puppet?
Yep.
Oh, he has a puppet. He has a puppet?
He does. Yes, he does.
When did that
I didn't see that coming.
I've never seen that.
No.
He does it sometimes. He doesn't do it every set, but he has a ventriloquist act, and where he wears a mask of like a COVID mask so that he can be terrible at ventriloquism. And he has a little puppet and does the whole thing. She left. It's fine.
Last I remember,
she's going to Google it.
He only did the puppet for a couple jokes, right? Or did he do the whole set in puppet?
I don't know. He does have like he will have like a type 5 just with the puppet. Like I've seen him do that. It's pretty great, honestly. Just like what the hell is going on up there, you know?
I'm impressed, Tom, that you made it a verb.
A puppet, a verb.
Yeah, he did the whole set in puppet, or is that a noun in puppet?
Yeah, I thought it was like he would close with it. He'd do like a minute with the puppet. But
I'm sorry I missed that.
Two disclaimers. One, I wouldn't want to be on stage with a puppet, right? That's not what I want.
Oh, that was.
I want like a whole I just want to, and my puppet ideas are kind of separate from the Chakra ideas. But when I was talking about my green screen, I just kind of wanted to brag that I had puppets. But this is what I mean. I mean,
you grabbed a puppet.
This guy right here. Here's one. Hi.
What the flip? What is that?
This is one of my puppets.
Beaver?
Oh, it's a beaver.
Guy right here. It's a beaver. Okay, here's one. Wait, there's more.
I can make such a misogynistic joke I won't.
I'm just saying.
Here's this one, right? I feel like they're friends. They live in the same town, but I feel like her name is Gladys. I feel like she smokes. I don't know. This is her. She's like, hello. She's her.
Is that the one Mike's going to voice?
Well, we'll work on it. We can take turns. But then there's these two, which I think are maybe broadcast news partners. And I talk to them a lot from home. These two guys, they hang out together. But they're never with me. Like if they were on, I would not be on. They would.
I apologize, but I'm gonna go take a pee while she does the.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're gonna go teleport?
I was like, I'm just gonna let whatever's happening here happen.
What Tom's gonna do? He's teleporting over to your place right now.
I clearly said no puppets, and then I went and got him. I'm sorry. I just had to understand. I feel like these were misunderstood. You know. Like, I don't know if this is what you were expecting in a puppet, but I feel like this is different than your regular puppet, you know?
Shelly, that was way more than I was expecting.
Okay, well, there's more that are just...
I was actually expecting 0, but you brought 4.
Well, I have a bunch of tiny ones as well, so just let me know when you want to come up with all their voices and build a tiny set, because... That's what I'm about every year.
I'm all about Gladys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I love it. I think there's it's a whole land in my house. This is why I'm never bored, because she's here. She
doesn't call you Shelly. She calls you Shells.
Yeah,
here, Shells.
Where's the host? I would never be. Anyway,
I love it.
That. He really did go to the bathroom. I thought he was just kidding to like get away from the puppets.
All right, let's wrap it up. Anybody have any shows or podcasts or media that they want to promote?
I'm probably releasing a new Reads and Weeds tomorrow on a really cool book called Metaphysical Anatomy. And it's about understanding how things you don't understand about your body that you've tried all the physical things to heal could be related to stored emotional trauma.
Cool.
Nice. So I am taking over the Femme Feedback mic with Juliana Laura Wiggins. Yes, so I'm super excited about this. So Vivian Burgett was the one that was doing that, if you don't know. And so she is moving, and so her last show that she's doing will have me and Juliana as the feedback givers, and that's going to be the 29th at Hear.Say, the theater in Ann Arbor, and I'll be doing the feedback for that, and I'll be super cool at that. I'm so excited, so please come out. I got 2 more shows coming up in October, but I can't talk about those yet, but look out for those.
This Friday in Deerfield, it's a fundraiser with Chris Young. That's going to be fun. Mm-hmm. August 23rd, Monty's, Don Packard in Ypsi or Ann Arbor.
I got a lot of stuff, numerous things. I'm all over the state. Just go to samroseent.com.
I'm doing a gaming McFitness. I build video game controllers into fitness machines, and then I stream that on the internet.
What?
What?
That's cool.
This has been a production of Planet Amp Podcast, powered by Pinecast.